What's up, everyone? It's Boston Card Hunter. I'm here with a world famous comedian, Jim Jefferies. He told me off air that he actually has the most Netflix specials. Is it six, Jim?
Six. I got six Netflix specials. I got an HBO and a show. I got 10 in total, but six Netflix. Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And the reason Jim's on is he has started getting into the hobby over the past year or so. And I've seen him post about cards. He's ripped with his son. So we're going to have some fun today and talk
Yeah.
about the hobby, talk about collecting. Nice to have you, man.
Thanks for having me, man. We say I just got into it, but I was doing it a lot as a kid. But
Yeah.
I've got into it in a higher level, maybe.
What'd you collect as a kid?
Okay, so I collected rugby league cards, which was the national sport. There's two sports, AFL and rugby league. I collect rugby league cards, mostly the North Sydney Bears, and they were taken out of the competition by 1999, and they've just been brought back into the competition. They're going to be now the Perth Bears, and I'm working with them at the moment. But I collected rugby league cards, and then I also collected the Beatles. They had these cards in 1993 with pictures of the Beatles, and they're worth nothing now. But I've moved to England, I've moved to America, and I've brought those cards with me everywhere I've gone, this box of the Beatles cards. So it obviously meant something to me. But yeah, it was rugby league, a little bit of basketball in the 90s, but there wasn't a lot of, not a lot of card stores in Australia. Still isn't. You
Right.
know, Cherry Collectibles is a big one in Melbourne. I'm sure there's some other ones, but there was no eBay or anything, so I was just buying. There was nowhere for me to trade them or anything like that. So I much prefer the hobby as it is now.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see you bring up rugby, which is something I would never think about. I mean, rugby's big in New England in terms of collegiate
Hmm.
sports, but we're not thinking about the next rugby match, professional rugby match up here at all or
Well,
cricket.
when I was collecting these cards, the blokes who were my heroes, right? They would score a try, right? They'd go over, they'd score a try. This is in the 90s, and they go, Martin Bella just went over the line. He scored a try. He scored six tries this season. He's played in 14 games, and he works as a carpenter, right? Like, so my heroes all had day jobs, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you could go down to the leagues club and you'd be watching like a guy pulling pints. He was a bartender and he played for the team that I went and supported, and I collected that bartender's card. So it was a different level. You in the 90s, you're following Michael Jordan and Charles
You're following
Barkley, and I've got
bartenders.
I've got a local bartender who I'm very impressed by.
Probably easy to get him to sign the card, I guess.
Ah,
A lot of
much easier to get him to
much
sign.
easier. Just buy a beer and he'll sign the card.
Yeah.
All right, so I discovered I've been a fan of your comedy for a while, but you actually popped up on my feed because you ripped a box
Yeah.
of NBA Tops
Yeah.
Chrome
Yeah.
with your son.
With my
You
son.
pulled a one of one,
I
and
did.
my question for you is: was that a bonding moment or the beginning of a financial problem?
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'll tell the story very because it wasn't just the one of one, and my son didn't pull the one of one. I pulled the one of one.
Okay,
So we had two boxes at Christmas. He had one, and I had one. We opened them up. We actually opened them up in Australia. We spent Christmas in Australia, and we brought nothing really back with us. Maybe four or five cards out of the two boxes. There was nothing to write home about. And I had one more box in the house, and it was going back to school day, which no 13-year-old's excited about. I never remember being excited about. And I said, how about we rip one more? And I separated the packets into two piles. I let him pick a pile,
yeah.
right? And I pull in my second packet. I pull the one of one Helix, which is the what is it called?
I'll
The
flash it
chase
on the
hit.
screen for everybody, but it's the LeBron James Helix Superfractor.
Superfractor.
1-1.
So the Helix is the case hit, right? So I just saw Helix and I thought that's a $2,000 card, 3,000. It's probably like 3.5 in a 10, right? And then I saw the one of one in the corner, and I went off into the other room and I showed my wife, and she just couldn't have given less of a shit or understood what was going on. And I said, I think this is a really big card. And then my son's like, he didn't get the card. And I'm happy because how am I going to teach the guy a value of a dollar? How am I going to make the little bastard go work at McDonald's if he gets himself a card that's worth tens of thousands of dollars,
It's
right?
so true.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
so, like I give him at the moment, I give him $10 a week pocket money. Why would he give a shit
Now we
about
can
that?
buy a couple cars.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very happy he didn't get it. But then he starts screaming in the other room. In the same box, he gets a to 99 Cooper Flag Auto redemption
Oh,
card.
that's a great card.
And that card, the redemption card's selling for like 3K, which okay, I think that's okay for a 13-year-old. But I, I I always say to him, I go, oh, look, if you want to buy and trade cards, you can make money, or it's a great hobby where you can have a bit of fun and all that type of stuff. But, I don't think you can get rich of it. And I go, you definitely won't get rich off ripping boxes. That's just entertainment. There's no way in the world you'll ever make money from doing that. And now he's got the bug, I think. So I'm trying to downplay it when he's around. But, man, magical moment.
Yeah.
Magical moment with father and son. We were screaming and running around the house, and I didn't have, all I had was top loaders. I didn't have it like a nice magnet case type of thing. And I put in a top loader. I went down to my local card shop and they offered something. And then I was watching the King of Collectibles the 2 days before, right? And so I direct messaged Ken Golden and he messaged me back like that straight
Yeah.
away. And he goes, don't look anywhere. I've got it like that. And now I'll be honest
Classic.
with you, I got a bit of seller's remorse. Maybe I should have kept the bloody thing until he retired, or maybe it'll go up, or I
I
don't
think
know.
you're, well, we'll talk about what you did with the card in a second, but I think you made the right call. It's a five-figure card for sure.
Yeah.
And LeBron's value is sort of, it's baked in now. You know what I mean? Now, I think it's funny to me. The funniest thing to me, well, first of all, did you know what a one of one was before
I,
somebody?
I, 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 I've never seen one.
Yeah.
I actually own one. I own one right here. I've got a superfractor of Rivera, right?
Okay.
Which
Oh,
I think
nice.
is Top's greatest one. He has a beautiful autograph there.
Yeah, I
I
love his
love the
signature.
tops with the neon and everything from 2024. I thought that was the best modern design I'd seen in a long time. Um, so yeah,
We
I
have seen it.
I knew what it was. I didn't really have an idea in the moment what I could get for it. I still don't know. It's at
Yeah.
auction. But here's the weird thing. So I put it up. I put it on my social media. Golden put it up. And I got a lot of comments like, oh, awesome pool, fantastic. Oh, so happy for you and your son, mostly positive. And then you get the people that go like this, you should give that money to charity.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're like, what? Because I'm successful. I have to give what? I'm also a gambler. If I'm playing fucking blackjack and you stand over my shoulder each hand and go, charity, 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 get the fuck. Did anyone tell Logan Paul when he just sold a card for 16 million that he has to do something charitable? I thought this was America and not communist New Zealand. Like I have to give it to charity. No, I bought the box like everybody else, man.
That's
And
right.
it's part of the fun. And also the whole thing about this hobby is you trade up to a different card. It's the paperclip
Yeah.
theory. I go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'll get that money and I'll invest it into a different card that I do want. I have that dream of having the 52 mantle. So that'll go towards that maybe one day. But no, I'm not giving it. I'm a very charitable fella. I'd like to mention that right
Yeah.
away. I do a lot of work for charity. If you want me to do a gig for your charity, I'll do it. Right? I'm good like that. But no, not
But
when it
that
comes to the card. I won that fair and square.
I love it, man. I mean, a lot of people do that. You work your way up. You hustle, you get a good deal on a card, it grades right. And then so basically you took that card and Ken got it graded and it got a PSA 10, right?
Yes, it got a 10. I looked over. I have a magnifying glass and I couldn't see anything wrong with it, but I got told that the superfractors are hard to grade in a 10. Just with those little circles and stuff,
Yeah, it
they're
is.
prone to scratches and all that type of stuff. And I
Mhm.
couldn't tell with the helix what the centering's meant to be. Like it's very hard to tell because there's no border on the thing per se. But when it came back at 10, once again, I was telling my son, like, it won't come back at 10. And even it doesn't matter if it's a one of one, what grade it does get. And then it came back at 10. I was like, this is a 10. That's so every time
You're
I
a
try to
Debbie
talk
Downer,
him
man. You're
down and
like,
then something
you
bigger
can't get
happens.
rich off cards. You know, it's great. You're not gonna get a 10. And man, he's learning some lessons. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah. He's starting to learn that life just always works out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that Seinfeld episode. I found a 20 in my coat. All right, we're gonna start making this funny here. The
Or haven't I
comedian.
been funny yet? Fucking
Oh
hell,
no.
you expect a lot.
Comedian versus collector. What do you
Right.
think is more addictive? Touring, booze, gambling, or ripping wax?
Okay, so part of the reason I started ripping wax and collecting was because I'm an alcoholic and I gave up drinking. And so when I gave up drinking, I needed to fill that void. And, I tried it with marriage and children and nothing seemed to work. And then I found cards, you know what I mean? So cards actually plays into my brain. I like to look at the back and look at all the numbers and all the facts and the figures. And then I like to keep them in alphabetical order or things with teams and just it's the sorting them out and I like grading, even though I feel fucked over each time I do it. I feel like it doesn't work, but I like having something to look forward to, something coming back.
Yeah,
Touring, touring's not addictive. Stand-up comedy is really addictive, right? Touring, I don't get paid to tell jokes. Do that for free. If I had a comedy club in my basement, I'd go down there every hour and do a set, right? It's getting on planes, getting in hotels, staying away from your family, traveling all the time. So touring's the hard bit. The actual job of stand up, I think if you do stand up and you have some success early on in your first 10 gigs, right? You get like some big laughs, you'll never be able to put it down. You'll never be able to stop then because you'll always chase that again. You'll always chase that feeling of crushing. But also, like any drug, it's got the lows. Being being booed off stage isn't a joy. No laughs is even worse than that. At least being booed is a reaction.
interesting.
So I will say stand-up comedy is the most addictive thing I've ever done in my life. But cards are right up there, brother. Right up there.
Wow, interesting. Now, have
You
you
know what I
met
like
any?
about cards? Fragile, right? So you can have like it's a little bit of paper. We're putting a lot of value into a small bit of cardboard that can be bent at any time. You have to take care of it. You have to protect it.
Yeah,
And then you see the old ones and you go, this lasted this long. Can you believe it lasted this long? See, diamonds, toughest substance in the world, right? Strongest substance on earth. And women always want a new one, right? You get what I'm saying? They
I
want a
do.
new one.
They want a
They
bigger
want one
one
that
and they want a new one.
yeah, they want one that's just been dug out of the ground. Why don't you get one of the old ones? They last forever. There's a song about that. So these cards are fragile, and we want as old as possible in many cases. You know what I mean? I like that idea. Something fragile that has stayed.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah. Anyway,
I
go.
like it. Now, what about so the card community can get a bit weird.
Yeah.
Have you met any collectors, hopefully not me, that have made you think like, oh no, this is a cult?
Look, I got diagnosed with mild autism, so I'm used to most of these people. When I show up at the card show, I feel like these are my people, man. I'm like, and you know what I like? We're not talking comedy, and it's spinning. Sometimes you go to a card show, and you'll go to that table, and you'll think this guy, the prices are too high, and we've all been ripped off. Where you go, I haven't thought this through. I bought some cards at a card show the other day, um, and it was the old Michael Jordan ones from the '90s that looked like the stadium from Chicago,
Yep.
right? It was in three sections.
Hmm.
And so one of the cards was valued at 500. I got him for like 450 or something like that. And I assumed all three of them had the same value. And so I paid 450 for each one. And then I walked away finding out that the other two were worth 150 each. And there was only one
That
card that had
sucks.
value. But I thought, of course, they're all valued the same. They're from the same set. They're the same thing. And that's a terrible feeling. But I'd rather be ripped off doing that than buying a car or buying a house or something like that. I think cards and going to shows is teaching my son, especially, how to negotiate in life
Mm.
and how to get the right price. And the fact is that if you have money in your pocket, people are going to try to take it away from you, right? They're going to try to figure out the way to empty it and give it to them, right? That's everywhere in the world, right? And so I think that's sort of a great thing, learning how to get a good deal and learn. I'd rather him get ripped off on a $25, $30 card and learn that lesson young than learn it old buying some brand new, crypto that's just been
Or a
invented or
car
something.
or a
Yeah, yeah,
house,
or something, yeah.
you know?
But the actual community of people, for the most part, I very welcoming, very nice. I'm also into pinball, right? So I go to a lot of pinball tournaments. Those people are even weirder than the card people, right? The card people would look at the pinball folk and go, "Stay away from them. They're dangerous."
I
So
need to check out a pinball conference now. The
it's
National Pinball Show. Oh man. All right, Jim, I'm going to give you some terms here
yeah,
that you may not have heard of, and I want to
sure.
see what you think they are. All of the hobby geeks watching this know what these are, but you may or may not know.
Right, you're going to show me up here, but I'll be right. I'll be right. Let's go.
Minimum size requirement. What do you think that is?
Minimum size requirement. Minimum size requirement. That can't be like a qualify for PSA, is it? Minimum size required. Minimum size for getting slabbed, I would say, is the minimum
Yes.
size. So I would say that. So a tobacco card, like the T06s, that would be the minimum size.
It has to meet a certain spec. So there's a certain measurement to the card. And if it's not that size, it doesn't
Right.
meet the minimum size requirement. And sometimes they may not grade it.
So that would be your smallest, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go
But
smaller than that.
it's not saying that the card's too small to be in a slab. It's more you have an 86 Fleer card like this, and the
Hmm.
Fleer card should be 3 by 5 inches. I'm making that up. And then somebody did something to it
Oh, okay. So it's been
and it
trimmed or
doesn't meet
whatever.
it. I
Yeah,
thought you were going to say something like, you get on an amusement park ride and there's a height requirement, like a card show. No, just
one of my first mistakes in buying cards was I bought a Jordan rookie and in a 9, but it was an OC. And I
yeah.
actually made money off that card, but I had to get that card out of my collection because it always bugged me because I was like, how am I getting this 9 for such good value? But these are the lessons you learn as you go along.
MC and OC will drop it. I think, correct me in the comments, but I think it's about 3 grades. So like a 9 OC is probably going to be like a 6 regular.
Well, it's the 9OC actually sells for slightly more in just that Jordan card than
Hmm.
the 8, but
In-
ever so slightly more.
Interesting.
But not
Interesting.
in all cards. I figured that out as well. But in the Jordan ones, it
Okay.
does.
Trimming.
Trimming. That's if someone's trimmed the card.
Yeah. All right. So they cut the card to try to make it
Yeah,
look
yeah, yeah.
nicer.
Yeah, of
Nailed it.
course.
Breakers.
Breakers are people who break on things like Whatnot and stuff like that, where you watch them and you can buy into a break and then you
Yeah.
can buy, one position or whatever. And I've done a little bit of that, but not a lot.
Okay. God pack.
God pack. I would assume that's the pack that I opened up that had the one-on-one and the God pack. Is it something? Is it a pack that only certain people believe in? Other people question the existence of.
It starts wars.
So, yeah, everyone thinks their pack's the best one.
Yeah, exactly. They try to get you to join the pack. No, the god. So a god pack, especially in Pokemon, this is bad. A god pack is all the cards are the best card. So it would be like all holos or all autographs. There's no bad cards in the pack. It happens because of collation errors and things like that.
Oh, so it's not an actual prep thing. It's just a
No, they
pack.
don't do it on purpose.
Right, right.
And it does happen. You can go on YouTube and see videos of like Pokemon God boxes and God packs. It's pretty wild.
So,
Happens in
so for
sports
like
cards
for
too.
my hobby box that had the two big cards in it, do they know that the two big cards are in that hobby box, or do they
No,
always? Right.
no, they actually go to great lengths. They have an independent company come in and audit the process to make sure it's random. So
But it
you'll hear a
always
lot of
has one
conspiracy.
autograph in there, so they just get put in different shoots and put in the packs like that.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Nobody's like looking. It's all double blind. You'll hear a lot of conspiracy theories as you join the hobby. This
sure.
is not one of them. The boxes are pretty, there's collation errors and things like that, but for the most part, you get what you're, it's just like an outcome. You don't really
I,
can't
I've had,
plan.
I've had plenty of times where I've had two autographs when I've meant to get one autograph, and plenty of times when I've gotten no autographs when I
Well,
meant to have gotten
Panini
one.
is really bad about that. So
Yeah,
yeah, you'll get boxes with nothing in them, and yeah, it's bad. Fanatics and Tops do a pretty good job now.
yeah, yeah. I like Panini as well because the soccer cards and all that, and I like the Kabooms and the Downtowns and all. I think they're good, but I do think that Tops bring out a far superior product. I think,
Yeah,
and packaging and stuff like that. And as you said, it always works out the same way for the most part. You get your autograph and you get your 4 or 5 numbered cards in a box. I seem to get better value for money out of tops, but maybe that's just been my experience.
Well, you also did get pretty. You had a pretty good
Oh, I
box.
can't
If you
speak
want to,
badly of tops anymore. No, no,
yeah.
tops.
All right, card ladder.
Card Ladder, it's an app that you have where you look on Card Ladder. Of course, I got Card Ladder. I got Market Movers. I got Card Ladder. I got what 130. I met the blokes from there. They're Australian. I hung out with them at the West Coast Card Show the other day. I actually was standing behind those guys leaving Australia, and I was just there was two blokes in front of me, and they go, "Oh, PSA's rates have just gone up, and the waiting time's gone up, and all that type of stuff." I said, "You like cards?" To these two blokes, and I showed them the LeBron Helix. I just pulled this thing, and we got chatting. And I don't think they knew who I was, and then I think they Googled me when a couple of people were taking photos with me on the plane. And then afterwards, they invited me to the card show. Now I got new friends there, man. That's what cards can
Yeah,
do
you're
for you.
part
I
of the
got new,
cult, dude. You're not a newbie, man. You feel very intermediate to me. You got a good
dude.
handle on this.
I'm not super new. And I look. The first cards I bought in America was in 2021, and I bought my son the entire. You know when they sell $50, tops sell all the base cards just in one box.
Hmm.
And I bought that at Target for my son because he wanted a certain player, and I said, well, this will have it in here, and stuff like that. And then I was buying him cards, and then not buying myself many cards. But I did a movie called Him, which was a Jordan Peele produced movie, which is a football horror or thriller movie. A lot of downtime in the acting world, and so I used to go to this card shop in Albuquerque that was just around the block from where I was all the time. So I was going
Yeah.
to this card because I had to fill me days. And that's when it went from being a little tiny interest to a hobby and maybe an obsession. It went that quick for me.
Love
And
it.
then now, because as I said, I don't drink, wherever I am in the world, I'll always be in a different city on the weekend. If you just check online, there's normally a card show. It's something for me to do during the day. And then you get to meet people in different towns. Otherwise, I'm just staying in my hotel room. So it's giving me exercise, man. Oh, I love
I never heard that one. I love it. Um,
it.
all right, so we're gonna get a little crazier with hobby terms, and
Yeah.
I want you to tell me if these sound legit or if they sound like a scam.
Okay.
Okay? Mystery repack with chase cards.
Yeah, that's a scam. I've seen those mystery repack lists because there's no way to order it, no way to make for sure. I know that there's the there's the repack companies like Arena Club and stuff, and I don't think that's a scam because they have to work within different
Yeah.
guidelines and stuff like that. They're actual big things, right? I've had some success with Arena Club, but I think those ones where you see the picture of the like Curry Color Blast, and then it's just like this, and then say bid on this, and you're just bidding to buy into a mystery pack, and then it says please read in little letters in eBay. Fuck those people. That's
Yeah,
definitely a scam.
F those people is right, dude. So that's basically a scam, in my opinion. I think about 80% of the margin goes right back in their pockets, and
Yeah,
most of the time they know what the card is. You're right. There are companies like Instant Rips and Arena Club and Courtyard are more on the up and up, and there's a checklist. But
yeah.
the whatnot, the whatnot repacks are
I, I
garbage.
I just bought my first card from one of those machines in a casino where you go up and they just give you an autographed card, and you can buy a jersey. What it's called, a lucky
Lucky
box or
Box,
something.
yeah.
Lucky box. That was interesting. Look, I got an autographed Shaquille O'Neal that was worth maybe $50 less than what I spent on the card. But I've walked away from blackjack tables a lot worse than that, man. So, I thought it was all right.
All right, I got another one. Whatnot sudden death.
What not sudden death? What not sudden death? I know that what not. I don't
Legit
like
or a
when
scam?
I'm leaning on scam, but I don't like when whatnot. I don't mind buying into a break because I think if you just want to spend $40 and buy one player or one team, and then you go in and you get a bit of entertainment on TV, that's fine. It's when they start doing. Now we take trades, and you can trade in your two teams and your thing, and they're getting so many things
Dash
on
and
top of it.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah, I like stash about. I like a straight up just buying into the break, and I found the people that do that a lot more. What did you call it? A whatnot?
Whatnot sudden death. So what way whatnot works is they kind of get your FOMO. So guys like Debut Sports are the biggest offenders. They will run 5 second auctions on a card that you really have no idea what the value is. It's not even slabbed, and they scream bloody murder the whole time, and you don't even know where it's going to end. And
Oh, oh, it's just some bloke going, "You guys got to get it. It's going
God, no,
$40. This is
it's
far too
worse.
cheap for this card. I'm giving this thing away. Oh my God, I can't believe. Oh, well done. Yeah,
Yeah,
that all
except
day.
except that way more screaming like they're in a heavy metal band, like kids screaming.
I think part of the whatnot experience is what music the guy's playing. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like
yeah, you got to
sometimes
keep it entertaining.
I don't like if I don't like their set list, I'm like, nah, I
Hey,
can't
how would
listen.
you feel if somebody at Whatnot was streaming your Netflix special behind them to keep people entertained?
Oh, look, as long I'd be all right with that. I'd
Okay.
be all right with that. Look, it's one more ratings on the Netflix charts. Whenever I stay in an Airbnb, people never log out of their Netflix, right? So you just open the TV up and someone else's Netflix. As soon as I leave, I always put me special on so I get one more view.
I love it. That's awesome. All
There's
right.
got to be tons of people who own Airbnbs going, why have I watched all of these comedian specials? I don't understand what's going on.
All right. Vault only shipping.
Vault only shipping, which means going from the PSA Vault to PSA Vault or
Yeah.
directly. I like the PSA Vault because you get to keep the taxes off and that type of stuff. And if you've got a big card, it's a good place to keep it. But if you're flipping, that's the sort of. I don't do much flipping for the most part. I just collect. But I bought up maybe 5 or 6 soccer kabooms a year ago, knowing that this time would come. And I'm going to sell them. I'm glad I just kept them in the vault, so they're
Yep.
going straight. So I bought a Ronaldo for real cheap. It's gone like 6x or something like that. So I knew the World Cup was coming. I didn't know why no one else noticed this was about to happen. It seemed like a glaring error. You can't do it now. Soccer's too expensive now. Soccer's gone crazy. That's the hottest cards going. But a year ago, no, you could get a Kaboom 10 of Maradona for under $1,000. You know what I mean? And it's like an $8,000-9,000. You know what I mean? Like just weird shit like that. But no, Vault shipping. I
Yep.
just used that as a flex then, didn't I?
Yeah,
Vault
you did. You
Vault
did, man.
shipping is something that I use to cheat the system. No, I like the Vault. Are you anti the Vault? Are you for the Vault?
I'm okay with the vault in certain circumstances. The problem I have is PSA owns 92% of grading. And
Yes.
so you're basically 92% of cards go to PSA. And when you hit that menu, the first choice, which takes up half the space, send to the vault. And here's all the benefits of the vault.
Mm.
Second choice, taking a third of the space, is sell it with eBay, put it listed on eBay, and then really, really small down below, like God forbid you want to go to a card show with the thing. It says ship back to yourself. And I don't like how they take the noobs, so people aren't as good as you, and they just funnel them all to the vault. So
Yeah.
they have
Okay.
control over
Okay.
that.
So the thing with I'm not a big fan of them buying SGC and Beckett. I'm not optimistic. I'm not like Jeff Wilson where I think that Beckett's going to improve and all that type of stuff. I don't like this at all. But it is what it is, man. That's what they're doing. That they grade all the. Okay. I'll ask you a question. How far away do you think we are from AI doing cards? Like I know Tag is doing it, but they're a very small portion of the market. It's got to go that way, right? Because we can't just have humans forever doing this. It's
PSA, they won't shout this from the rooftops, but PSA's been using AI for like 5 years. They've actually been using it on, I've heard, they use it for the minimum size requirements, which is why the minimum size requirements have gone up in recent years. And I've also heard, so I mean, there's ways, I think AI is helpful. Like you watch a tennis match, right? The
right,
ball's either in or out. Like
right,
AI is helpful for that. That's like black and white, you know what I mean? And so I
yeah,
think for centering, it is what it is.
mm,
Is this centered or not? Like AI can do
yeah.
that. I think autographs are hard. I think like surface is probably okay. Edges and things like that.
So
So they're gonna have to. They have no choice, you know?
autographs. I'll tell you a funny autograph story. I'll tell you a couple. So I was lucky enough to play for perform for Will Smith's charity. So all the Dodgers were there. So my son went down with some of his cards. It was the first time my son saw me do stand up, and he got a few cards signed, all type of stuff that were regular ones, and I've got them at PSA right now, and I want the autograph actually authenticated as well, right?
Hmm.
How the fuck do they do that? Like, do they just compare it to? So you know what I'm thinking of doing, and I don't want to play my hand in case someone from PSA is watching. They authenticate tickets and backstage passes. I'm going to sign one of my own backstage passes and send it in and see if my autograph is authentic.
And you got to take a video of you doing it too.
Yeah, I'll take a video of me doing, and also it'd be nice to have one of my backstage passes in a slab anyway, right? So that'll just be something fun. But there's no fucking expert who knows my autograph. Get the fuck out of here. There's a person in there comparing Jim Jefferies autographs. No fucking way. There's a guy that knows LeBron James and Michael Jordan and all that stuff, and he knows Babe Ruth and all that, but they don't know mine.
I wish I had prepared to do this live. I do wonder if you could submit a Jim Jefferies autograph. I bet you can.
Of course
If
you
so,
can.
so
You,
now,
you, you, you got they take tickets and backstage passes and stubs and all that type of stuff. I've got all the laminates and stuff from all my shows.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
sign one for you when I come to Boston when I'm playing the Wayne.
That's right. We're
We
gonna
can
rip
we
some
can both
wax
send them in.
before the show. It'll be fun. So the way
Oh, I
they
want to
do
do
it,
one other autograph. Is a good story, right? So a friend of mine was doing a corporate, and at the corporate gig was Larry Bird, right? Another comedian was doing this corporate, and he goes, your son's into basketball. He goes, Larry Bird's going to be, with me tomorrow, and I go, can you get him to sign a card? And the guy goes, sure. And he goes up to a card shop and he just buys a random card. This guy doesn't know anything about cards, and he goes off and he gets the card autographed, right?
nice.
It's not a licensed one. I
Oh,
would It would be nice if Larry pulled it out of the case.
oh. Oh
Like,
man, this happens
surely
more than you
Larry
think.
knows, right? Get the fuck out of here. So now I'm going to put a nicer card than an unlicensed one in there. That's my Larry Bird case.
Now you can get the case slabbed, and then you can get the card signed again. Oh my! You can like slab the case.
It
They'll do
looks
it
beautiful
too.
on the card. It looks lovely on the card.
Yeah, so that happens a lot. I send a lot of autographs through the mail, and I'll leave a penny sleeve on it or something. I don't do that anymore because they will just like sign thing. But for Larry Bird signing, you want to find a middleman. You pay them a little bit of money. They prep the card. They make sure they don't sign the top holder like you just showed me. But oh man, I mean the way autographs work, dude, it's like they got an exemplar, so they sound really cool. Really, it's just like examples of autographs. You know what I mean? And
I,
they make their decisions based on that, and they sometimes are not great at it, and sometimes
I,
they're okay at it.
I've never been a big autograph guy. I've never sort of sourced them out, but like since getting the cards,
Yeah.
it's so the other day I pulled just a base card from a Star Wars pack. I like Star Wars, right? It's just ticking around, but a base card from a Star Wars pack of Bill Burr, right? Now
Oh,
I know
right, because he was in The Mandalorian.
he's in the Mandalorian, right? And me and Bill are friends, but I was still like, oh, I know that guy, right? I was so excited to see a friend on a card, and now I keep it in one of my jacket pockets in case me and Bill perform together because I want an auto of it. So next time I see Bill, I'm going to get him to sign an actual Star Wars card for me. So
We're gonna put some of these videos on Instagram, and PSA is gonna get real scared about failing your autograph. They're gonna look at them real closely.
yeah. Hey, people who've got my autograph, send it in or just make one up. See what they say.
Oh man, I know. You can sit there. You have 10 backstage passes. You sign 9 of them. You have your son sign the 10th, and just watch what happens. Oh, don't do that. I'm just kidding. All right, man. We'll close this down with a couple more serious things since you've made me laugh I'm pulling like a Jimmy Fallon here, just laughing the whole episode. I
Jimmy, no, I
apologize.
tell you what, don't knock Jimmy Fallon. I prefer he laughs, man. Stephen Colbert, I did his show. He didn't fucking laugh once. You can watch the footage. It was pulling teeth. It was Jimmy Fallon, man. He's a good dude, man. That cunt laughs at everything.
All right, so the hobby, it sounds like it's something you want to share with your son long term.
Sure.
So do you think this is a positive thing, or do you think it's just a dad discovering gambling in a socially acceptable form?
I'm I go back and forth. As I said, I like the fact that he learns how to negotiate and he learns the idea of a good deal and that some assets will go up and some assets will go down and not to hold on to things for too long because, for sentimental value, if you want to do the money version of it, right? I
Yeah.
think it is good for that. I do think I've taught him an element of gambling. Um, I'm just going to be very cautious. I am very worried that I've taught him gambling. Yeah, I am very worried about it. But I also think there's something wholesome about it. The
Mm.
problem is when I did it as a kid, there was never cards that were worth that much. It was all about collecting the set. The set was what mattered. There was no numbered cards or whatever. You just got it. And I hate to be like, and you got the chewing gum and you know what I mean? All that type of stuff. That's all bullshit. I wasn't in it for the bubble gum. I was always in it for the cards. But there wasn't high stakes in it. So my son at the moment, he he bought this card at a show. He wants me to get it done. Mookie Betts anime type of thing.
Nice.
Um, might not, I don't know if the centering's that great on it. Whether he spent enough money, and then if he spends the money, and it's a lot of
Yeah.
money to spend $30 to get a card graded for a kid, and I'm not going to do it for him.
And you got to wait 6 months to get it back too.
But
It's not.
also teaching him patience
That's a
because
good point.
you have to learn patience in this hobby. You have to be patient. You have to wait, and then something comes back to you.
PSA could use you as a spokesperson. On their website, they'll say, guys, don't worry about the turnaround times. We're teaching your kids patience.
Are they fucking ever? Bloody hell! I sent some in recently, and they haven't even received them yet, and they're giving me the alerts like, if we don't receive the cards soon, this order isn't complete. And you're like, I sent it to you. I know what's happening. It must be a nightmare in there. There must just be piles of like card savers and rubber bands and like for a hobby that's made of cardboard, it is an environmental nightmare. Like the amount of plastic that we're using to protect cardboard. Like if they find out that these slabs kill turtles, we're fucked. It'll be the same as the straws, mate.
Oh man. All right. We gotta land this plane. So you've got this. We talked about the LeBron James card
Yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
and you've got this card at auction right
Golden.
now at Golden.
Yep.
I will include the link in the description in case people want to click on it, check it out. Um, do you want to talk about that at all, or I don't know,
Yeah,
make an
look,
offer?
I have no idea what the card's worth. I have a figure in my head that I would like to reach that I'm not going to say, because I had the figure in my head that I'd like to reach. Otherwise, I would have kept it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the difference in price. But it's a stunner. The card's stunning. It is really beautiful card. It sparkles. It has and it's the helix, and it's a great picture of him. And maybe he retires this year. Maybe he doesn't. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's the last year he might be playing for the Lakers, and so that's the card. But yeah, go check it out at Golden. I don't know what it's at right now, but I know nothing really happens until the last day or so. So there's no use worrying about. I followed that Pokemon card, and I thought it was going to go for 6, and then it went
Oh no.
crazy.
I
Yeah,
called 15 like a month ago, man. Yeah. It's
I,
crazy.
I thought 12 initially, and then when it didn't move from 5 forever, I thought I think it's reached its ceiling, and then no, you're right, man, 16 million.
A lot of institutional capital coming in,
Well,
but
that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. So you got like 12 million for Mr. Wonderful for a Kobe and LeBron card, and now we're fucking Pikachu didn't even sign this fucking thing, right? There's no autograph, nothing on
no, it's like you go to Disney World and the mascots sign the cards. Pikachu's not signing that. It's usually it's the artist. So the guy that drew Pikachu, he'll sign on it. But I
I,
hear
I
you, man.
got I got I got I got one going up to get graded because with the 4-year-old, I bought a box of Disney, and I can't fucking find the thing. Where I got an auto. Uh, this is a weird one because I met this guy a couple of times because he's a stand-up. I got Tim Allen signing Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like a really cool card. But then it's like same thing. I met Tim Allen before. This isn't that exciting to a comedian. We all, we all work the same clubs. But it's
Oh,
something different when it's on Buzz Lightyear. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
it's
fucking
cool. It's
exciting. Yeah, it's
cool.
exciting card. Yeah.
All
But
right.
yeah, go have a bid on it. And I tell you what, here's the deal: if you bid on this card and you win it, and even if you're not a fan, even if you just hate me, right? But you want to have like a little story to go along with the card, I'll get you 2 free tickets to any one of my shows and a meet and greet at the end because I'd like to see the card again myself, slabbed up. So as long as you don't send it to the vault and you have it in your hands,
And you're not a
that'll
weirdo.
that'll even if you're a weirdo, I
Oh,
accept
okay.
weirdos. If I don't accept weirdos, I'll have no one in the audience, right? So if you have that card in your hands and you write to me before, that'll be your ticket into my gig. So
That's
you
a
can
pretty
come and
damn
see
good
me
offer.
afterwards.
The link
Yeah.
will be in the description, everybody. I was not paid for this. Just
Oh
having
no,
fun.
and I don't. Am I allowed to do that, or is that
Oh
corruption
yeah, I
now?
think so. I mean, like the Logan Paul thing.
He,
Part of the
he,
description was hand delivering it.
he
You're allowed to
he's
sweeten the pot.
he's hand delivering it. I
Yeah.
will not be doing that. I will
No.
not hand deliver to you. If you come to me,
You're too lazy for that.
I promise to give you. Look, I tell you what, I retract that. If it goes for 16 million, I'll hand deliver it. All right,
Yeah.
I'll do what Logan Paul did. I'll give you a fucking hand job at the end. If it goes for 16 million, no problem. Anything you want, you got me for the hour. Use me as you will.
That's a wrap. That's awesome. Jim,
Sorry,
thank you very
I don't. A lot of people might listen to your podcast who are kids. I'm sorry about that last bit.
That's all
Don't.
right. I'll put the I'll put the swear warning on this one for the YouTube channel. But I appreciate you, man. Guys, if you want to get in touch with him or whatever, I'm gonna have his Instagram handle below. Just DM him. He's on tour right now, all over the country. You can check out the dates. I'm gonna check him out when he's in Boston for sure. I'm gonna have a good time. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Nick. I really appreciate that, man. This has been. I listen to your podcast, and it's so wonderful to be talking about cards and not comedy or acting, just something different, man. So if you ever want me back on again, if your audience likes me, I'd love to come back on again. I
All right.
appreciate you having me.
Let us know in the comments. Do you want him back? All right.
No, then I have to read that. That'll be horrible.
Boo! Boo, you're gonna get your booze. Yeah. All right, Jim. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, brother.
See ya.